Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into the AnyCubic Photon Mono 4. It's a resin 3D printer that, well, it really turns heads with its specs for the price. Our mission here is simple. Cut through that hype, look at the research, and give you the real story behind the promises.
Yeah, this is a classic case, really. We see advanced tech becoming super affordable, but understanding the nuances, the trade-offs, that's crucial for you.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The AnyCubic Photon Mono 4. What are we actually looking at here? What makes it stand out?
Well, the big headline feature is definitely its screen. It's a 7-inch 10K monochrome LCD, and that translates to an XY resolution of 17 by 17 micrometers, which is tiny.
17 micrometers, yeah. Wow. And monochrome helps with speed, right?
Exactly. It lets the UV light cure each layer much faster, so you get quicker prints compared to older color screens. And putting that 17 micrometers in context, I mean, that's detail finer than a human hair you're potentially printing.
Okay, so that level of detail plus faster printing.
Mm-hmm.
For a machine listed at what, $159.99? That sounds almost too good to be true for an entry-level printer.
It really does push the boundaries for its price point, yeah. If you look at competitors like the Elegoo Mars 5, that's 4K resolution, 35 micrometers, or even something pricier like the Phrozen Sonic Mini 8KS, that's 8K, but still only 22 micrometers, so 17 is genuinely impressive here.
And it's fast, too.
They claim speeds up to 70 millimeters per hour, but you need specific high-speed resins for that. And the initial setup, the leveling, it's a 4-point manual system, pretty straightforward, designed to get beginners going quickly.
Right, get to printing fast.
Right.
Here's where things often get interesting, isn't it? I've seen some online chatter suggesting that easy setup doesn't always mean smooth sailing long term. Did your research uncover anything like that? Because there's usually a catch when you mix cutting-edge tech with such a low price.
That's exactly where we hit what some people are calling the beginner's trap, the initial setup. Yeah, it's easy enough, but then you try moving beyond maybe the simple test prints, and that's when users report running into massive print failures, problems with prints sticking to the build plate, stuff like that.
Adhesion issues.
Yeah.
The classic resin printing headache.
Right, and suddenly you, the beginner, you're thrown into the deep end. You have to figure out support structures, those little scaffolds, and dial in very specific exposure times. It becomes a steep learning curve, fast. And often frustratingly so.
Yeah, I can imagine. That initial excitement just fizzles out into hours spent troubleshooting on forums, right? Trying to figure out why it's not working. And, okay, beyond that learning curve, what about the machine itself, the hardware, and any concerns there?
Well, this is probably the biggest red flag we found. Durability, specifically the screen. We found multiple customer reports mentioning that critical 10K LCD screen failing. Sometimes astonishingly quickly, like after just 4 days of use.
4 days? Seriously?
Yeah. Apparently so in some cases. And here's the kicker. That screen, the printer's main selling point, it only carries a 6-month warranty, the rest of the printer. That gets 12 months. But the most crucial and potentially fragile part has half the coverage.
Ouch. And I bet replacing that screen isn't cheap.
Not at all. You're looking at around $80 to $100 for a replacement 10K screen, which is, more than half the initial cost of the entire printer. That changes the value proposition significantly, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So let's connect this back to AnyCubic. They started in Shenzhen, 2015, right? Always focused on making 3D printing more accessible, more affordable. This Photon Mono 4 seems like peak AnyCubic strategy in a way. High specs, low price.
Exactly. It fits their affordable innovation model perfectly. It lets them offer really impressive features on paper at prices that grab attention. But the flip side often can be compromises in, say, quality control testing or perhaps the longevity of certain components. It's a trade-off.
So buying this printer, it sounds like a bit of a gamble.
You could definitely frame it as a high-risk, high-reward situation. It's what we might call the quality control gamble. Will you get a unit that works perfectly for ages or one with early screen failure? And you really need to think about the total cost of ownership. It's not just the $160 initial price. You need resin, safety gear like gloves and masks, cleaning supplies. And you have to mentally budget for the very real possibility of needing that $80, $100 screen replacement down the line. All that needs to factor into your decision.
Okay, so wrapping this up. The AnyCubic Photon Mono 4 offers genuinely exceptional detail and initially incredible value. It pushes boundaries for its price. But that potential is weighed down by pretty significant durability concerns, especially around that vital LCD screen, and a learning curve that might be much steeper than beginners anticipate.
So it leaves you with a question, doesn't it? When a product dangles groundbreaking tech at such an entry-level price, how much risk are you actually willing to take on? And what does that tolerance for risk really tell us about the true cost of making innovation accessible to everyone?